Hello there, friends. Happy autumn or spring, and welcome to the With Yarn and Friend podcast. This is episode 3. All right, well, hello again, everybody. I am so happy that you're here today. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to our cozy little corner of the internet. My intention for this podcast is to share some of my crafty adventures, whether that be knitting, crochet, quilting, cross stitch, and to hopefully provide some creative inspiration with you all as well. I will, sometimes sprinkle in some other elements of my life here and there, but this is primarily a crafty podcast, and it will most likely be about knitting most weeks. So my name is Erica. I live on the western slope of Colorado in Grand Junction, and fun fact, in case you might be wondering where the name Grand Junction came from, it stems from its location at the confluence or junction of the Gunnison and Colorado rivers. So there you go, fun fact of the day. You can find me on Instagram as @LyricStitches, and I'm also on Ravelry. My handle there is Arafor, but I really just buy patterns there, so I don't do a whole lot else on Ravelry at this point. So I hope you all are doing well, enjoying the arrival of fall here in the Northern Hemisphere and spring, my other favorite season if you are in the Southern Hemisphere. Hello, all of my friends down there in Australia. I've heard from a lot of you, New Zealand. Everybody, you are all so welcome here, so I'm so glad you're joining me today. I have just been taken quite aback in the last few weeks by the outpouring of comments and subscriptions to my little tiny channel in the last few weeks. I know it's just like a blip, in the scheme of the entire interwebs, right? But I've really been blown away by just the outpouring of, love and community, and I think that's one of the things that we as knitters or crafters love so much, right? It's that community that we build with everybody out there, and so it never feels like there's too many, right? There's always room for one more, and I've been so excited to see even more first episodes from other podcasters popping up in my feed. It's been really fun to experience and visit some of those new podcasts and YouTube channels. So on the next episode, I'll probably give you a little list of some of those that are newer to me that you might be interested as well. So I just want to let you all know I have read every single one of your comments that have come in. I'm really working hard to respond and like and comment on every single one of them. It's been a little overwhelming at times, but I'm really trying to keep on top of it. So thank you so much if you've left a comment. It's been really fun just to hear from everybody across the world where you're from, whether it's New Hampshire or Florida or Iowa or Canada, Norway, Finland, the UK, where else? Italy. We talked about New Zealand, Australia. I've got quite a few friends from down under, which is super exciting. So it's been so fun and so great to just kind of see where you're all from. So please keep it up. If you leave a comment, please let me know where you're from. It's really fun to see all of that. So I want to thank you all so much for your lovely words of encouragement and your suggestions and recommendations for sock patterns, and I had quite a few of you recommend ways to help me save the bottom of my socks where my where it wears out on the ball of my foot. So there were quite a few suggestions about slip stitches on the ball of the foot, so I think I'm going to try that out with my next pair of socks. Okay, so I've really enjoyed, obviously, reading all of your comments, learning about where you're from, what you're working on. Some of you have started Ranunculus, some of you have been inspired to start other sweaters that have just been kind of sitting in your patterns list. So I have quite a few people who have said they're knitting socks for the first time, which is, I'm super excited about that, right? It's Socktober. Today it's Socktober, Sockoween if you're a Bakery Bears follower, patron, you know, and even if you're not, join in on the fun. If you've never knit a sock before, Earth Tones Girl has some excellent tutorials. My friends over at Meanwhile at the Castle, Emily and Deborah, oh my gosh, I love them. They're my neighbors over there in Utah. They are the ones actually who put out the tutorials years ago that I used to knit my very first sock. So there's lots of resources out there if you're interested, if you want to knit socks. And now there's so many resources for DK socks. If you are put off a little bit by the thought of doing, you know, size 1 needles and, you know, tiny little stitches, try a DK sock. It'll knit up super quick. I am actually going to be casting on my first DK sock today. So we'll talk about that in a little later. So I just wanted to let you all know I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith a few weeks ago and recorded my first episode. I put it off for way too long. It's been years since I've been watching YouTube knit podcasts and other crafty podcasts, and I always sat there thinking, oh, I'd love to join in on that, right? But I never did, so I'm so glad that I did. And if you're thinking of starting your own channel, then we welcome you wholeheartedly. Let us know in the comments if you've got a new channel or if you're going to start one up here soon. The more the merrier, in my opinion. So what an amazing community of crafters that we have out there. So last episode I shared that we were very close to getting to 5,000 subscribers, and that, you know, I expected to have a giveaway on this episode to celebrate that milestone. Well, you all took it up a notch, or two, and instead of 500 subscriber giveaway today, we will be celebrating 1,000 plus subscribers, which I can't believe it. In a matter of like a month, month and a half, that I've surpassed the 1,000 subscriber mark already. It's crazy, but it's super exciting. So I think it's time to have a little celebration and do a giveaway. But instead of just doing one prize, because we already passed the 500 milestone, we're gonna do 2. So that's really exciting as well. I'm going to be giving away 2 prizes. I don't have all of the goodies here just yet, but I will share some of what I curated for my recent Fiber Festival trip last weekend. My mom and I went down to the Salida, not the Salida, oh, that's a good one though. The Sneffels Fiber Festival. It was a small gathering, but it was really fun, and I got to meet some really incredible creators, and I got some really good stuff. So I will share the final prize packages on episode 4 once I have everything in hand, but I will show you a little bit of what you could win. So I thought we would jump right into that. So I was really excited to go to the Sneffels Fiber Festival. I know that there weren't very many, a lot of vendors, but there was plenty to choose from, and some really talented creators. So the first one I want to start with is Woolly Lizard. So one of the prizes that I got is this sock yarn. This is a BFL nylon blend. So Blueface Leicester nylon blend, you can see that right there. These don't have colorway names. So if you're a dyer and you're dyeing colors, I really encourage you to give them names, because oh my gosh, it's so fun to look at the names and kind of link the names with the colors. This one has a number, so this is Y3051, and Woolly Lizard's actually out of Cortez, Colorado. So my dad grew up in Cortez, Colorado, and his sister, my Aunt Juna, hi Aunt Juna if you're watching, she still lives in Cortez, Colorado, and my dad's mom lived there many years until she passed away. But so this is one of the prizes. So again, this is a BFL nylon sock blend, perfect for Socktober, right? So you won't get it in time for Socktober, sorry, because I'm not going to draw winners until right before the next episode, but it's still a really great color. It'll still take you through the fall season. I think it's really like an autumnal, be great for Thanksgiving socks as well. So that's the woolly lizard. The second thing that I got was from Woolabull, hand-painted yarns, and he is also out of Cortez. So I thought that was really cool. There's quite a vibrant yarn fiber community down in Cortez, and I had no idea. So Cortez is in the southwestern part of Colorado, and this also did not have a color name, but it's beautiful. So this is a little bit more warmer toned. It reminds me of like a sunset. And growing up in Albuquerque, the Sandia Mountains are on the eastern side of the city, and Sandia means watermelon in Spanish. And part of the reason I think that they called it that is because when the sun would set in the afternoon, it turns the mountains pink. But it also makes these gorgeous southwestern Albuquerque sunsets, which we don't really get here very often in Colorado, at least where I'm from, but this definitely reminds me of one of those Albuquerque sunsets. I heard from quite a few of you from New Mexico as well, and southern Colorado, and so it was really exciting to see that there were you know, more people closer to me in my little fiber community, and even some right next door. So all right, so this is the second yarn. So one prize package will have this sock yarn in it, and the other prize package will have this one. So this is an, what is it, 70-30 sock yarn. So superwash merino nylon, and let's see, 437 yards. So you could definitely make a pair of socks and have plenty left over. All right, so Woolabull also makes some really great handmade stitch markers and charms or progress keepers. So in one of the packages, they will get, let me see, try not to block my face so that you can see what I'm saying too. These teardrop stitch markers that have like a forest mountain scene kind of etched into them. So this will be with one of those yarns, and the other yarn is going to get some progress keepers that so let me fix these. They're kind of flipped around, but these also have a very similar, they're in the shape of mountains, and they have a little mountain scene on them. So they're wood, and they're kind of like etched with this mountain scene in them. So hopefully that's focusing. I know the focus is not great, but there you go. So they're the shape of mountains, and these have the lobster clasp. The other ones are for size small needles, 0 to 8. They'll fit a 0 to 8 size, so that's pretty generous range. And these are stitch markers. So, all right. So that's Woolabull, and again, Fiber Art and Doodads by Eric Wilson is the name of the creator there. Okay, so I also got, there was a company there called the Goat Barn. They're out of, stumbling over my words, they are out of Arizona, and they came all the way up to Ridgeway for this festival, but they are from Prescott Valley, Arizona, and they do a lot of handmade soaps and body lotions and creams and that sort of thing. And one of my favorite things to keep in my knitting bag are lotion bars. So each prize package is going to get one of these. It's an unscented lotion bar. It's made with beeswax, cocoa butter, rice bran, and this says fragrance, but I grabbed the unscented because you never know. So, and yeah, so it's got this lovely little honeycomb with a little bee on it, which we love. We love our bees, right? And it's really, it smells like honey because of the beeswax. So both packages are gonna get one of those. They have a great website too, thegoatbarn.com. I'll have all the information down in the notes. And if you're interested in buying any of their products, I bought this giant tub of body butter, which is just amazing. So I also went to a lovely little vendor called the Felted Dog. They're out of the, I believe the Front Range of Colorado, so somewhere on the the eastern side of Colorado. Anyway, she had a ton of like felting kits and embroidery kits, and I do have footage that I will include at the very end of the podcast if any of you are interested in kind of seeing some of that footage. I took a little bit of the drive down there as well, so some really pretty scenery. You could see the San Juan Mountains in the background. So I got little felted pumpkins. Are these not the cutest things ever? Oh my gosh, they're little like eyeballs. So each one's gonna get a little felted pumpkin as well. And they do have a website, and if you're in Colorado, they do I think workshops, and they've got quite a few festivals that they're kind of roaming around to. And again, that information will be in the show notes. And then finally, there was a group there from, oh, here we go, the Felted Dog. So may the fleece be with you. Okay, so, and this is the card for Woolabull. Each one of you is going to get one of these, and these are really nice. They're like on wood, so they're like wooden cards. If you want to scan the QR code, there you go. Okay. All right, so I met the nicest couple at from the Flying Iron Ranch Alpaca Farm. They are outside of Montrose, so kind of between Montrose and Ridgway, Colorado, if you're familiar with the area. And they raise and show alpacas, and one of their award-winning alpacas, his name is Guapo, which I loved, which means handsome in Spanish, so El Guapo. And anyway, so my mom was very generous. She also got a few of the little goodies to throw in. So thank you, Mom, for supporting the channel and the subscribers here. So one of you will get one of these alpaca cards. So there's this guy. I believe that's Guapo. I mean, he is pretty handsome, right? Or you might get this one. Oh my gosh, you guys. I would love to have an alpaca, or 2, or 10. Or maybe this one with the mama and the baby. So I don't know what's gonna go in which package, but one of you will get them. They're blank, but they have the information on the back, and yeah, little treat there. So I thought you guys might enjoy that. So those are all of the goodies that I got for the giveaway. And again, I will include some of my footage after this podcast at the very end. Now, in addition, it's super exciting. In addition to all of these goodies, the lovely JJ, who is a mother, a knitter, a quilter, a book enthusiast, and lover of animals. Oh, and the creator behind Jessalyn Janice on Instagram, and her shop is on Etsy, and I will have all the information here, and I think I'm going to share some little pictures on the side here. I'm going to scoot over a little bit so there's room. So JJ, amazing, after my first episode, reached out and said, I would love to send you a bag to include in your giveaway. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. She makes the most gorgeous bags, so I'm going to put up a few examples up here that are currently in her shop. She was having a sale, I think it ended yesterday, on Halloween bags, but her bags are really wonderfully priced. I think they're very affordable, and a portion of her proceeds go to support her local animal shelter. So before we talk about that, I just wanted to share this final picture. She also did a collaboration with, let me look at my notes here, the Wren Wife, I believe that's who it was, and the Wren Wife did the yarn, and JJ made the bags, and they are Nightmare Before Christmas themed. So if you're a fan of that, which I definitely am, you might want to grab one of those. So I just picked up a couple of bags for some little Christmas goodies. I'm trying to get my Christmas shopping done early, and I love to support small businesses, especially crafty small businesses and makers. So if that's on your list to kind of purchase this year, I'd, check out her shop. She's got some really great stuff. Okay, so as I mentioned, a portion of her proceeds go to support her local animal shelter called Kia Coda. It's a no-kill, 100% humane rescue that's local to JJ in her hometown in Iowa. And I'm a huge supporter of animal rescues. All of my dogs and cats have come from or been rescues of some sort. And Grace, who's my current little fur child, I actually adopted her from the Second Chance Humane Society down in Ridgeway, which is where the Fiber Festival is located. So I got her about a year and a half ago. So yes, shelter dogs, rescue dogs, they're the best. So not only would you be getting an amazing bag, but you would be supporting a good cause. All right, so with that, I think I've chatted enough for the intro. Let's get down to business, and we can chat about what I have bound off since our last episode. So it has been a pretty busy couple of weeks for me. I got a cold. It has been like the year of sickness for me. I feel like I'm finally coming out of the trenches of sickness and feel like myself, which is good because it can really wear you down. Like one thing after another. I had COVID, and then I had stomach flu, and then I got a cold. And back to school, and the kiddos are, all kind of gathered together. And if you have kids or you're around kids, how the germs just kind of migrate and, just make their rounds through every family. So my nieces were sick recently, and that whole family, my sister and brother-in-law, they were all sick, and it just migrates. So hi Addie, hi Willa, I hope you guys are doing well. I missed you guys up in Oregon. And Addie, keep doing good in school. Love you girls. Okay, so my only finished object for this episode it's a big one. So I was really working hard to get this done. This is my weathered shawl. So the last time you saw it, it was basically I'd only had about this much done, maybe that much. Yeah, and I added tassels because who doesn't love a tassel? But so it is. It blocked out, and it's really kind of huge at this point. So I don't even know if I can get the whole thing on camera. Let me scoot back a bit. It is a very large shawl, and actually when I finished knitting it, I didn't think it was going to be this big, but I blocked it pretty aggressively, and this slip stitch texture really blocked out beautifully, and it's huge. So the pattern actually has two options for this bottom portion. So the top portion is this lovely slip stitch texture where you're actually holding two different fingering weight yarns double. So you hold one color double with itself, and then the other color double with itself. And it's, I think it's really good to have some contrasting yarns, obviously, so you can get this slip stitch effect. But it's a 4-pattern repeat. It's really super simple. Once you get into the groove of it, you can memorize it and just keep going and going and going. So the top part is that kind of a pattern. And then the bottom, you kind of separate the top and the bottom with a row of eyelets. And then the bottom section, she wrote two options for the pattern. So the first one is to just
to do this woven texture. And this you only hold the one main contrasting color, or the main color, the main color, you hold that double. Again, it's fingering weight, so you hold it double to make like a DK Aran weight. So you can do this kind of woven texture, or you can use just the solid color in and just do this slip stitch texture again. So you have two options. I chose the first option because I really liked the difference in the two textures. I think it's really fun. And then optionally you can add tassels, and I used every single last bit of yarn I had to make two pretty generously sized tassels, because I love a tassel. So I don't know if you all feel the same way, but I definitely love a tassel. So it's big when it's done, but it's really nice. It's really drapey. So both of these are singles bases. The white is a Suburban Stitcher yarn that I got from her 4 years ago, maybe at this point. It's called Sea Smoke, I believe is the color. And it's really beautiful. And then this darker color, which looks almost like a blue-gray, is Leopard from Madelinetosh, Tosh Merino Light. So let me put it on here. I did opt to do the picot border as well. You can kind of see that, or the picot cast off. And I think it's a really, really nice touch to just kind of add to the end. This is a very deep V, so it definitely, you know, kind of goes down quite a bit. But it's nice, and you know, there's plenty to wrap around and tuck into a coat. So this is kind of what the bottom looks like here. And you know, you can see all those little bits. You can see the tassels hanging off there. And I like that the weight of the tassels really holds the ends down. Sorry, I just said all that off camera, but I like that the weight of the tassels holds the ends down. Not that this shawl needs it, because it is plenty long. But some shawls, if they're not quite as long, or if you find that they kind of slip off your shoulders, adding a tassel, like a nice heavy tassel or a pom-pom to the ends, is, you know, can just kind of keep that weight and hold it down there. So again, this is the weathered shawl. It is a pattern by Tiff Neilan. It's very recent. I think she only came out with it in the last month or so. I cast it on about the pattern and cast it on like the day after she released it. So I'm really happy with it. And it's another exciting little addition to my shawl collection. So, okay, so that's it for finished objects. I got this done. I'm pretty proud of it, because it was, you know, it's a pretty big project. So let's talk about what I've been working on. All right, well, cheers to fall. This is my Rifle Paper Co. E-mug, E for Erica. And today there's coffee, because coffee was needed. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, I actually have a hoe, which is a half object, for those of you that just weren't sure. And it's my first October Nights sock. So I was working on these last time. This is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. It's got this really great texture with, which is just done with a pearl added here and there. It's a free pattern. It's a 4-row repeat, super easy to memorize. It's got 20 rows of rib at the cuff, which I really like, this nice deep cuff. Somebody asked me last time if it was stretchy, and it, you know, it is. It definitely stretches. So there's plenty of room here, you know, to fit over your leg. And there's, I think three different sizes. But even if not, even if you needed to change the pattern, because it's just a 4-stitch pattern repeat, you could add 4 stitches. So I did a 64 stitch, you could do 68, you could do 72, you could do 76. The thing that I love about socks is that they're really so customizable. So anyway, you do the textured pattern all the way down to the top of the toe. Obviously the bottom is stockinette. There's a heel flap and gusset with a modified eye of partridge heel, which I love this garter edge. It's on both sides, obviously. And then it's just got a wedge toe. So this is a sock set from Ash and Bumble. She came out with it last year. It was her October Nights sock set, so that's why I'm calling these my October Night socks. And I just love the way it's worked up. So the colors are really beautiful. It's got grays and almost like a charcoal black, and it's even got some really pretty kind of like warm mauvey tone in there. You can see it right there. So, and then the contrasting color for the heel, which I love this kind of burnt orange rust color. It's just very fall. So half of it's done, and I am well underway on the second one. So it is a cuff down pattern, which is all I've ever knit. I will eventually do a toe up because I need to try it, but cuff down is what I gravitate towards. So yeah, so I'm pretty well on my way there. I really want to have these done as soon as possible because today I'm casting on a new sock for Socktober. So I'll have a couple of socks on the go, but that's fine. These actually, I for some reason when I was looking at the needles, I knit these on a 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter. So US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter needle. Normally I do a size 1, US size 1. So, which is a 2.25 millimeter. So I don't know what, I know why. All of my other sock needles were on other projects, and I probably have like 5 pair of sock needles. So that just tells you how many other socks I have in the works in progress bucket. But you know, we'll get to them eventually. I'll knit what I want. So those are well underway, and really enjoying working on them, and I think I'm gonna have them done really soon, and which is gonna be great because the weather's turning here, so we can definitely wear socks, especially in the mornings and the evenings. All right, so those are my October Nights socks. My next project is my Ranunculus. So I've been working on this, and you guys are right, it definitely does knit up pretty quickly. So with these large, needles, and it's just kind of flying off my needles, and I'm pleased with the amount of progress that I made because I spent a lot of time on the shawl getting that done. So so here we are. I'm trying to find the back here. All right, so obviously it's scrunched, but I am on my last, repeat of the yoke. So my last set of raglan increases before I think I split for the sleeves and then knit the rest of the body. So I love the detail. I think it's coming out really beautifully, and with a shirt underneath it, for sure it's gonna look really gorgeous. So the neckline, I was worried that it was gonna be it might not be big enough, but it's definitely going to be big enough. So I am knitting the size 6 from the pattern because I wanted some positive ease. So this is meant to have, kind of a oversized look to it. You can obviously knit it however you want. You could make it more fitted. I think the next one I might make a little more fitted, and I'm probably going to use some fingering weight yarn, but I'm loving this. So it's so squishy and soft, and yeah, so this is in Cascade Alpaca lace, which is being held double with this Mohair from the Yarn at Home Mom. This is the fairy tale colorway. and this did not have a colorway name. So, but it's this kind of heathered purple, and it's just turning out really beautifully. So I think I'm gonna knit the body slightly longer than the pattern calls for, because I don't think this is gonna grow like a, you know, like a superwash merino will. So I think I can knit it a little bit longer, and I want to do maybe bracelet length sleeves if I have enough yarn. So I mean, I've already got this much done. I'm still on my first two, or my first, you know, round of yarn, and I have you know, one more of each left. So I think I'm gonna have enough to like make it as long as I want. But you know, that's the thing about knitting, is you check your yarn and see where you're at and go till you can't go any longer. So that is my Ranunculus. And the last thing that I've made some progress on in the last couple of weeks, 2 weeks, it flies by, right? You think, oh, 2 weeks, yeah, that's great. And then I think, oh, I really don't have that much to share. But I have been working on my Shawl Smorgasbord from Stephen West, and I think it's gonna have to go into hibernation for a little while because the mystery knit along starts next week. So I will keep working on this until the mystery knit along starts, which I believe is on the 6th. I'm so excited. But until then, I'll keep working on it. So the last time you saw this, I was kind of right in the middle of this basket weave texture. So I finished the basket weave. I did this kind of he just calls it like a stripe row. And now I'm on to this section of eyelet stripes. After the eyelets, then it will start the crisscross pattern. So I'm looking forward to that, but I think I need some brain power for that. So this is as far as I've gotten. There are so many ends already because you switch yarn so often. So I might start weaving those in as I go, so I don't have a ton at the end. But yeah, I'm really loving it. I love the colors, I love the textures. You know, I think this basket weave is really a fun texture, and I think this is the same texture he recently put out in a full shawl pattern. So if you're interested or you like that look, then that might be a shawl for you. And I think it's just a single color shawl, which is slightly unusual for Stephen West, but I love it. So this is my Shawl Smorgasbord. I'm knitting it with 5 colors from Bad Sheep Yarn in her Springtime in Paris set, and then one of the colors, which is this very kind of bright one, is Balloon Lady from Candy Shop Yarns, who is Deborah, one of the 2 sisters from Meanwhile at the Castle out in Utah. And you guys, she's doing the best collection right now. So she put out she's Candy Shop Yarns, and she's put out this vintage Barbie inspired collection, and it's just amazing. I love the pictures because she posts the pictures on Instagram with the yarn and then the Barbie outfit. And I was a Barbie girl growing up, like I had all the Barbie stuff, so that was super fun to see. Okay, so Balloon Lady, which is her Mary Poppins collection a couple of years ago, and then there's also this little stripe here, which is a little hard to see, but it's this really pretty pink with speckles. That's Ice Cream Shop from Barnyard Knits. So that is all of my works in progress, which I'm pretty pleased with. I mean, I have plenty more whips just kind of languishing over there in the corner, but you know, I'll get to them when I get to them. So all right, so let's talk about some items that jumped into my cart recently. Okay, so you know, as I mentioned in the first episode, I'm very blessed that I'm able to buy hand-dyed yarns, and I love to kind of support small business owners. As I said, I work, part of my job is working and supporting small business owners to grow their business as a business consultant. So, so I like to support small business owners year round, not just on small business, what is that, Saturday? Small Business Saturday, which is coming up, but definitely support them on that day. But if you can support them more often, which most of us do because we love to buy crafty things, then, you know, we do. So I know that Madelinetosh, you know, kind of, I think was bought out by Jimmy Bean's Wool, but they're, you know, women owned, and I've loved Madelinetosh since I started knitting. I've knit with a ton of their stuff, and I love their colors, and so I will continue to support them while also supporting other makers. All right, so I got my West Knits Mystery Knit Along set. Finally, I ordered it from Madelinetosh. I think I mentioned on the last episode, and I put a picture up, but I realized that the picture that I put up actually was of a different color pop. So I purchased 2 different color pop options because I wasn't sure, and I needed to really see them in person together. So so let me show you the colors, the main colors first, and then I'll show you what I went with for the color pop and what my other option was. So the first color is Leaf Fall. Yep, Leaf Fall. And I'll be honest, on the website, this base picture, the picture is much more creamy. So you can see the base of this is much more kind of gray purple, which is beautiful and I love. But on the website, it looks much more kind of creamy. So I don't know if, you know, they changed their dyes or their dyes bled a little bit, but nonetheless, it's still beautiful. It's got these beautiful pops of this kind of like red, burgundy red, and some other color pops in there as well. I think there's some oranges over here. So, you know, I think as it knits up, it's going to be really beautiful. So this is the main color. This is called Leaf Fall. So for the Mystery Knit Along, you need 2 skeins of the main color. And then the contrast color, you know, he recommended that it be a pretty good contrast. So I went with Oscuro, which is this beautiful, deep, this color is pretty true to form, deep red burgundy with some black, but it's very dimensional. It's not just, you know, this one red color. It's got some really good tonal variety in there. So I think that's a pretty good contrast. So my choices for the color pop, I picked 2 different things. So originally I was like, oh, I think I want to go for something really bright. So my original choice was this, which is their Geranium colorway. And I mean, it's perfect for Geranium. And it's a great color. I mean, I think it definitely pops. But the more I thought about it, and this is why I bought 2 different colors, because I just wasn't sure that was what I wanted. And I'm really glad now that I'm seeing, you know, that this one's got more of a gray purple base. I'm really glad I went with my second choice. So my second choice is Candlewick, and this is one of their, I would call it an OG color. It's one of the first colors of Madelinetosh I ever knit with, probably 15 years ago. It's this gorgeous gold with some hints of green, and it's beautiful. And the minute I saw the 3 of them together, I knew that that's exactly what I wanted for the color pop. So definitely going more of like a bold, rich, jewel-toned, autumnal shawl. And I'm super excited about it. So again, this is Leaf Fall, Oscuro, which I don't know what that means. I should look it up. If you know, please let me know in the comments. And Candlewick. This is my color pop. These are all in Tosh Merino Light, so it's all a singles base. This is gonna be super drapey and beautiful, and yeah, I'm super excited. So those are my Mystery Knit Along colors, and My mom just got the most beautiful skein of yarn from Ash and Bumble in her Field Notes collection. Or I don't think she's actually seen it yet, but she sent me the picture of kind of the inspiration. So I'm gonna take this down to her this weekend and see if it would go with any of the colors that she has, because she was mentioning that she needed some more solid tonals, and while I could absolutely use it eventually and keep it in my stash, you know, share the love, and if it works for her, then she can have it. So that was Geranium. Okay, so the other big purchase that I made was from Marcy at Bad Sheep Yarns. Marcy, you're killing me. But it was her fall autumn collection, and she also had posted her deep woods collection, and I couldn't choose, so I bought a few things. And Marcy is a hand dyer from up in Alaska, so, and her stuff ships so fast and gets to me so quickly all the way up in Alaska. Down here it's like, I don't know, 2-3 days, and I have it in my little hands. So I'll start with some of the colors that I got from her fall collection. So I love fall colors. Obviously my mom, I always joke with her that she loves fall colors too. But like the rich kind of jewel tone fall things are just right up my alley. So this is one of her new colors. This is called Rooibos Tea. So again, this is Bad Sheep yarn, and the Rooibos Tea colorway, I think. I hope that's not backwards. And this is in her 75-25 base, and I mean, for 75-25 it just feels pretty drapey, but so this is the Rooibos Tea. And if you ever had Rooibos Tea, it's kind of got this beautiful kind of red-orange color, so it's perfect. And then the next color, which I absolutely had to have, was this. This is her, oh, the sun is going behind a cloud, I think. This is her color Fox, and I love foxes. So another one of my spirit animals, right? Owls, foxes, squirrels, obviously. But this one is gorgeous, so it's got those oranges, browns, these really pretty blue teals, and even some purpley colors as well. So that's got some beautiful variegation in it. And then there's the sparkle. So everybody needs a little bit of sparkle, and one of these is going to be another October sock cast on. So the first color is this. This is Folklore, and I think some of the sparkle is kind of coming out there. So this is just all of those amazing colors. There's some speckling. It's just beautiful. And the last of the fingering weight that I got is this one. This is called Autumn Brew, and it just reminds me of like witches, which Hocus Pocus 2 is out, you guys. So if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Hold on, get going. Witch's Brew, or Autumn Brew. So I think this one is probably going to be my sock cast on, and it'll probably be a vanilla sock because all of these colors are just amazing. But there you go, you can see some of that sparkle. Blues, oranges, purples, yellows, greens. Oh, look at that. Yep. Okay, so those were some of the colors from her fall collection. I think there were a few more that I didn't get. She also has a deep woods collection. There were 6 colorways, and I am severely lacking in DK yarn. I tend to buy a lot of fingering weight, but I thought, you know, I'd like to get some DK yarn, sorry, and I want to, you know, do some DK socks and maybe some other things. So I got some DK yarn. So I actually got the whole set of her Deep Woods collection. So this is, or Dark Woods, I want to say, and this is the Dark Woods colorway. So greens, browns, at this variegation, it's just beautiful. So this kind of acidy green over here. So this is dark woods. And then Fox, also I got that in DK. So you can see just how gorgeous that is. This is the Fox colorway. This one is Butterfly. So again, I mean, so pretty. These are gonna make beautiful socks, and I think I might combine 2 or 3 of them in a shawl as well. So this is Doe, and it's coming a little more, it's not quite as green as it's coming off in this picture. It's a little bit more like the color of my shirt. This warm kind of beiges with a little bit of yellow gold with the speckles. So that's Doe, like the deer, Doe a deer. And this one is Mushroom. So again, I mean, you can see how these colors just all kind of play in with one another. Beautiful. Look at those color pops. So this one's Mushroom. And then the last color is Owl, which, you guys, it's this really beautiful pale gray base with these green and plummy speckles. There's some yellow in there. It's just really beautiful, really gorgeous. So that is Owl. So that's the dark woods or deep woods, maybe it is deep woods collection from Bad Sheep Yarns. So again, Bad Sheep Yarns from Marcy in Alaska. Okay, I did also get a couple of treats for myself from the Fiber Festival. So Woolly Lizard, this is the colorway that I got for myself. Again, no name, but it's Y3051. This is the BFL nylon blend again. And it just very sunset, jewel toned autumn, really beautiful. So that's Woolly Lizard. She's out of Cortez, Colorado. I think she has a website. And then I treated myself to some alpaca yarn from the Flying Iron Ranch alpaca farm. So pretty excited about these. I think I'm gonna put all of these in a shawl together. So I got this 100% alpaca. It's like I think it's pretty close to a DK weight, 150 yards, 2-ply. It's just a really beautiful, natural, creamy base. All of these are natural alpaca colors that I'm going to show you. This one is another one that I got, and this is actually Surrey mixed with Wakaya. I'm not quite sure, but I think those are alpaca breed names. So Surrey and Wakaya. It's a 50-50 blend. It's got a little bit more texture, which I love. And I mean, guys, the drape is just out of this world. And then the last color that I got is this more, I'm calling it like a chestnut brown. It's this really beautiful, warm, kind of goldeny brown color. This is 100% alpaca as well. So I think it'll be a really beautiful, neutral, cozy shawl. So now I just need to figure out a pattern to use them with, but I think they're really beautiful. And that is the Flying Iron Ranch alpacas, and their website is www.flyingironranch.com, and they do have an online shop. So and they were lovely, the couple that that has the ranch, and you know, they also do tours. So if you're local to the area, if you'll be local, you know, coming to like Montrose or Uray or Ridgeway or any of those areas, you know, you can reach out to them. They do kind of alpaca tours where you can go and they'll show you the farm. And so I think I might have to take advantage of that. It's called the Alpaca Adventure. So that could be dangerous. I mean, not really, because I don't have anywhere in a townhouse to keep an alpaca, but yeah. Okay, so that's all my all of the things that jumped into my cart in the last few weeks, and a couple of those I actually ordered before the last episode. They just hadn't gotten here yet. So I have one more thing. I thought we would just do a little chat about my TBK to be knit list. All right, so if you're a reader, then you'd be familiar with the TBR list, right? Your to be read list. Sometimes people have TBR piles, which I may also have sitting next to my bed. So I thought this would be a fun little spot to put in a TBK list, which is my to be knit list. And if you're hearing that jingling, that's Grace. She just got up off of the couch. So to be knit, some of the things that I'm looking at that I'm thinking of knitting coming up. So I'm gonna put pictures up over here because I don't, you know, have the patterns yet. They're all in my Ravelry library or in some cases Lovecrafts. So I did kind of look at a couple sites. My mom made a good recommendation that not everybody's on Ravelry, so I tried to find something on Lovecrafts as well that I could share with you all. So the first one is this Joji Locatelli. It's a one skein shawl. She's got a lot of really great one skein shawls. She also recently just came out with a new one, but I've had this one in my library for quite a while. This is called the Venezia shawl. It's by Joji Locatelli, and 400 yards of fingering weight. So, you know, just one skein. And I have a lot of single skeins in my stash that could really be highlighted with this beautiful shawl. So it's, you know, it's not going to be huge, but it could be definitely just be something you wrap around your neck and tuck into a coat. And I love the detail around the edges with the simplicity in the middle. So that's number one. Not really in any specific order, but that's the first one on my TBK list. So the second thing that I've been looking at are the Waves of Winter Gloves. These are by Tiff Neilan, so she's the one that designed the shawl that I showed earlier. And these are, I just really love the pattern on these, and the, you know, one skein of like I think it calls for Aran weight, but I'm gonna pick one of my DK weight yarns to knit these out of, and it just really, I think the texture shows off the colors in the yarn really beautifully. So I think I'm gonna use one of my more recent DK yarn purchases for that. I'm leaning towards maybe Butterfly. I think that would make a really beautiful pair of mitts. So so those are the Waves of Winter Gloves, and you can use DK. You could do, like, you could hold fingering double, and you need the largest size only uses 153 yards, so pretty reasonable. I think this skein has 245, so there'd still be some left over. DK socks is also, they're also on my list. So I found two different patterns for DK socks. The first one is, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. These are DK. They're from, the pattern is Fluffy Fibers. I think maybe one of you even recommended it last time in the comments. So these are called the Biscuit Socks. They're just super cute, simple pattern, textured pattern on there. So those are definitely gonna jump on my needles here pretty quickly. I haven't decided which skein of yarn I'm going to do those in, but I'm leaning towards Fox. So for the biscuit socks. And the other socks that I found, I'll put a picture up here as well. These are on the Lovecrafts site. I don't know if they're on Ravelry, they might be. These are by a designer called Darling J'adore. She has a ton of really beautiful patterns on Lovecrafts, just all kinds of hats and socks and just really cozy, and she does everything in kind of a neutral palette. It's really beautiful. So these are the Kodiak socks, and actually they're I think they're modeled by a guy, so you could totally knit these for that man in your life as well. But these also have a really great texture pattern, and I think I might do those in dough. So those are the Kodiak socks by Darling J'adore on Lovecrafts. So with that, guys, I'm sure we're well over an hour again. It is what it is. So I'm sure many of you, break this up into chunks, or, using the, hopefully you'll use the bookmarks to kind of skip around to where you're interested in viewing. But I wanted to just give you some final information about the giveaway. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we hit 500 and then we well surpassed that, and we're past 1,000 at this point. So we have 2 prize packages up for giveaway, and I will be drawing winners the day before my next podcast, which will most likely be in 3 weeks. So I've been doing every 2 weeks, but this is a really busy month for me coming up. Actually, the next couple of months are really busy with work and family commitments and all of that. So it looks like it'll be in 3 weeks from today, so towards the end of October, so you've got plenty of time to enter the giveaway. But what I would like for you to do in order to enter the giveaway is subscribe. So this is subscriber giveaway, so you do need to be subscribed. And I'd like you to leave me a comment below and tell me what your favorite fall or spring treat or tradition is. So you've got about 3 weeks to go ahead and enter that in the comments down below for this this episode. So make sure it's in episode number 3 comments, and that you have liked and subscribed. And again, would love to know, and tell me where you're from, obviously, but your favorite fall or spring treat or tradition. So, all right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I hope you all have a wonderful October knitting all of the socks or the goodies, and those of you that are joining in the West Knits Mystery Knit Along, I'll be right in there with you, so hopefully I can keep up. It's I think it's a lot of knitting, so we shall see, but you'll have an update in 3 weeks as to where I'm at with that, and we'll have some winners for our giveaway, and I'll be able to show you the full prize packages before I send those off. So thanks so much for joining me today. It's been lovely sitting here and chatting with you. And again, but my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Florida. And it looks like there are going to be some other areas as well up the coast of the eastern U.S. that are going to be impacted by the Hurricane Ian that went through. So just thinking of you all, and I hope you all are safe and that your families are safe. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful October, and I will see you soon. Bye.